Hi, class of 2027. This is Ms. Joustra, and I'm going to be going over course selection information for your 11th grade year. So we're picking our classes for next school year. I did want to mention that I'm pre-recording this presentation because if you haven't heard yet, my family is moving to Minnesota, so I'm unfortunately not going to be your school counselor anymore. I did want to let you know how much I've enjoyed getting to know you all and work with you these past few years. It's been an absolute honor to be your school counselor. I'm really going to miss you all. That being said, let's talk course selection. On the first slide here, I've listed out all the graduation requirements for the class of 2027. I'm going to touch on these areas more specifically as we're going through different sections of this presentation because it is really important that you understand your graduation requirements so that you're picking classes to put yourself on track to meet all of your requirements by the end of your senior year. At this point, so in the middle of your 10th grade year, after semester one, you should have at least 9 credits and a 2.0 unweighted GPA to be considered on track for graduation. At the end of the school year, you should have at least 12 credits and still have that 2.0 unweighted GPA or higher to be considered on track for graduation. When we are looking at the course card and you're looking at all the different options for you, I want you to be thinking about which classes might be the right fit for me. So, those regular level classes on the course card, the purpose of those classes is to focus on making students life ready. They're trying to prepare you for passing those state and district mandated tests that you guys have to meet your graduation requirements. When we're talking honors, those might be for classes that you want to take in those areas that you feel a little bit more comfortable and stronger in. With honors classes, the goal is to prepare you for entry level college working coursework. So this is going to be a little bit more academically challenging. It's going to be going at a little bit faster pace so that you can have a deeper dive into the content. So students who are successful in honors classes have strong work ethic, they participate in class discussions, they advocate if you're struggling and you need help. You feel you're going to be talking to those teachers and communicating when you need that extra support. The AP and dual enrollment or DE courses listed on our course card are university level coursework. Those are college level classes. So that's going to have much more intense writing and critical thinking exercises. Your workload is going to be higher in those classes in terms of the amount of reading, writing, homework that you're going to be doing. But the benefit is that there is potential to earn college credit in those AP and dual enrollment classes. So when we're doing course selection, this is an info session for you to kind of think about what you want to be doing. You are going to have access to your course card before the counselors come into the classroom. So we have a plan in place. The counselors are going to come into the classroom to go through the course selection process with you. But you're going to have your course card before that time because the goal is for you to take some time to talk to your adults, talk to your current teachers, and really figure out which classes might be the best fit for you. So with English, your current English teacher is going to be a great person and a great resource to talk through. If you're not sure which class is the best fit for you, they can give you some input as to what those classes look like, and based on what they're seeing in their class currently, which one might be the best fit for you. Uh, so you're going to get your course card ahead of time. Then the counselors will be coming into the classroom to walk you through the course selection process and go through actually submitting your course requests when they are there with you. So, when we're talking about English in the state of Florida, you are required to have 4 credits of English. So, if you are an English 2 or English 2 honors, our district recently got rid of, or our district got rid of English 3 and English 3 honors in place of a course called ACE English General Paper. So, most of our students who are in English 2 and English 2 honors are going to be going on to that ACE English General Paper class. ACE classes, just so you know, are weighted the same as AP and dual enrollment English classes. At the end of the ACE year, there is potential to earn some elective college credit if you pass the ACE exam that happens at the end of the year. So, this is a great fit for a lot of our students. If you are an English 2 honors and you are a very strong English student, you test well, you're consistently getting good grades, A's, B's in that class, you could consider going into one of those RAP or dual enrollment classes. So for after English 2 honors, the options could be either AP Lang or dual enrollment English Comp. The students that as 10th graders are currently taking ACE English General Paper, by taking ACE in your 10th grade year, that means you are committing to finishing your remaining English credit at the college level. So you are going to be selecting either AP Lang or dual enrollment English comp. And at the end of this presentation, I'll go over a little bit more of the difference between AP and dual enrollment and what it means to be selecting one of those courses. So all students are going to have um, be selecting something to meet their English requirement. For math, in the state of Florida, you are required to have 4 credits of math. One that must be Algebra 1, one that must be geometry, and then 2 other years of math. And those 2 other years are going to be whatever math is the best fit for you based on your math skills, what you want to do after high school, etc. So, for the most part, a lot of our students are in geometry. If math is a little bit more of a challenge for you, so you have to have Algebra 1 and geometry, after that, the door opens up a little bit. So, if math is a little bit more of a challenge for you, if you're in geometry or if you're in Algebra 2 right now, um, and you have a little bit more challenging time in that class, we have some classes that are they're kind of like our math 4 classes. So there's a bunch of different math, like math for college liberal arts, math for college statistics. You could take one of those options, and really it would be based on whatever math you feel um, you prefer. So math for college liberal arts is one of those classes where it's like a little bit of this, a little bit of that. So you cover a little bit of algebra, a little bit of geometry, a little bit of probability, statistics, logic. So you're kind of touching on a bunch of different areas. Math for college statistics is where you're analyzing and applying probability and data. It does include some algebra skills, but the focus is really on that probability and data and stats. Math for college algebra includes some elements of algebra 1 and 2, and this is a good fit for the students who want to review and expand their algebra skills. So they prefer that algebra style of math. Math for data and financial literacy is more of the real world applications of math, so related to financial concepts, so kind of those basic economic accounting principles that come up in your in like the real world. So the students who are a little bit more challenge struggle a little bit more in math could select one of these options. If you are in geometry, if you're in geometry right now, if you see yourself continuing your education after high school, going to a 4 year university, you probably want to consider going into Algebra 2. Students in geometry who are doing well could jump into Algebra 2 honors, or students in geometry honors could be going into Algebra 2 honors. If you are currently in Algebra 2, um, we have some honors level classes that come after Algebra 2, so students could do math for data and financial literacy honors. We also offer probability and statistics honors. And then students who are in Algebra 2 honors and doing well, who feel like they're ready for the college level math classes, we offer AP Pre-Calculus, AP Statistics, and then we also offer a DE math class. There's college algebra and trigonometry. So, with the math, there are a lot of options. And again, this is why we recommend talking to your current math teacher before the counselors come into the classroom so you have a good idea of which one is the best fit for you. For science, you are required to have 3 credits of science, one that must be biology, and then 2 other years of science. So there's not always a pathway that students are going to be going on with their science. After you have met the biology requirement, the door kind of opens a little bit more with all of our different offerings that we have. So we have marine science, environmental science, forensic science. Um, Although chemistry is not required for high school graduation, it is a good class to take if you are planning on going to a 4 year university. Sometimes those 4 year universities do like to see that you've taken chemistry, and they like to have high school chemistry as a prerequisite for some of their science classes. So if that's a route you see yourself going, it is a good idea to get chemistry before you graduate high school. And we're going to be offering chemistry honors next year. Students that are already in chemistry, there are some other college level science classes that we offer, like AP Biology, AP Chemistry, AP Environmental Science, AP Physics. And then we do have some dual enrollment science classes that we offer on campus right now as well. For social studies, the state is really specific about what you need. The class of 2027 has to have a semester of personal finance and money management, a full year of world history, a full year of US history, and then Gov and Econ, which are each semester courses. So at our school, we do personal finance in ninth grade, world history 10th grade, US history 11th grade, and then Gov and Econ during the senior year for the most part. If you are a student who may be transferred to us from out of state or a different county, you might not have met that personal finance requirement yet at this point, and you might be in world history this year. That's okay. We just want you to keep it on your radar that at some point before you graduate, you do need to meet that personal finance class. So you could select that as one of your options for this year, in addition to taking U.S. history for next year. So, for the most part, if you're in world history, you're going to be going into U.S. history next year. Those students in world history honors, if you are doing well, you like social studies, you could try out, there's always US history honors. There is some college level options for that. Students can take AP US history, or we do have a dual enrollment class on campus that we offer called American history. So that is also a way that students can meet that US history requirement through dual enrollment. And then if you are a year ahead, if you're in US history honors right now, you would be going on to taking US government and economics. So you could be doing that either through Gov and Econ honors or AP government and AP economics. So those are our four core areas. We have English, math, science, and social studies. After that, the other graduation requirements you have is students must have one credit of PE. The state of Florida says that the physical education requirement needs to have both a health and a physical component to it. So, students who take our full year course of HOPE, that's Health Opportunities Physical Education, by doing the full year of HOPE, you meet that requirement and you are good to go. There are some alternative ways that students can meet that. They can always take HOPE online. Um, or you could do a semester of the online health class called Personal Fitness, which is offered online through FLVS, along with a semester of an on-campus PE class, such as team sports, weight training, individual sports. You could do it fully online by doing a semester of personal fitness, that online health class, along with one of the semester online PE classes. The two options for you are outdoor education or fitness lifestyle design. Or there are some ways that you can meet the requirements with what we call a waiver. So if you did marching band, that you could have a waiver entered for the physical component, which would mean that you only need to have to do that semester of the health class personal fitness online. If you've done 2 seasons of a sport at the JV or varsity level, you can have a waiver entered for the full requirement, which would mean that you would not need to take a PE course for your graduation purposes. It is really important to note that students don't earn credit for waivers. So if a student has um, the 2 seasons of a sport, so they don't need that one credit for PE because they have a waiver entered from participating in the sports. That doesn't mean that they need to earn one less credit for graduation purposes. It just means that one of their credits, they're going to have an extra elective that they're going to be meeting through their classes. So instead of having to do PE, it opens the door to being able to do other electives. It's also important to note that waivers are not automatically entered. So they're not entered unless you talk to the school counselor. So a lot of kids have talked to me already, um, but you would want to follow up with the school counselor if you have not had a waiver entered, but you are planning to meet your PE requirement through having a waiver. So if you have not met the physical education requirement by this year, I want you to be thinking, what is my plan to meet it? Do I want to take an on campus class next year to meet this requirement, or am I going to do something online? Just so you have a plan to meet that requirement. The next graduation requirement students have to meet is a fine or practical art. So, this does not just need to be like a performing fine art. Now, the state of Florida has said that practical classes, so a lot of our business, technical, career type classes, also can count for meeting this requirement for graduation. So if you did not take a fine or practical art next last year and you're not currently in something this year, you should definitely plan to take one during your junior year. So, one of your courses that you are going to be selecting for next year is a course that meets the fine or practical art requirement. When you're looking at the course card that you have, there is all the courses that have this little squiggle symbol by it does meet that requirement for graduation. There's also a symbol that shows that some of our courses, some of our fine arts courses like band, um, chorus, dance, do require some after school commitment like practice, recitals, performances. So just take that into consideration if that's something you're willing to commit to when you're selecting your courses. Also, know that prior experience is not required for band, dance, or chorus. So, if you're really interested in doing one of those subjects and or one of those classes, and you don't have experience in it, don't let that stop you. We do not require experience for you to be to sign up for one of those classes. When you are looking at your course card, you will see on your course card that there's an option for culinary two. This is the course that students in our culinary academy are required to take during their 11th grade year. So for our culinary academy, it is a 4-year program. In ninth grade, you took nutrition and food science. This year, you are in culinary one. In 11th grade, you're going to be taking culinary two. And then in 12th grade, you have a block on your schedule. You have 2 periods where you're going to be taking culinary three and four. You must be in the Culinary Academy to sign up for culinary classes. So you would only be selecting a culinary class on your course card if you are in the Culinary Academy and you are currently in Culinary Arts 1. So the students in the Culinary Academy, one of their classes is decided for you. You are going to be taking Culinary 2 as one of your elective options. So just be prepared. You're going to be writing that on your course card. So we have our 4 core classes: English, math, science, and social studies. We have 6 periods in our day. Those other 2 classes on your schedule are going to be counting towards your electives. When you're choosing your electives, really, you're going to be picking, that's your place to choose your classes that you are interested in taking. I do always like to note that 2 years of a foreign language, like Spanish 1, Spanish 2, are not required for high school graduation. You are not required to take a foreign language to get your high school diploma. However, it is required for the Bright Futures Scholarship, which is a scholarship in the state of Florida that can cover up to 100% of your tuition if you go to school in the state of Florida. And it is a requirement to get into most 4-year universities. So, students who plan to go to a 4-year university after high school, we strongly encourage you to get to the second level or higher of any foreign language to meet that requirement. So, I often get asked, American Sign Language does count as a foreign language for this purpose. Um, so on our campus, we offer Spanish, French, and ASL. We also have a lot of career and technical pathways that can provide opportunities for students to get industry certifications. So, on your course card, you'll see digital infotech, which can give you a certification in Microsoft applications. There's digital design, where they do Photoshop and editing, technical design, early childhood, where at the end you can get your early childhood professional certificate. So, by being in those pathways and taking those classes each year, you can get some. Um, Industry certifications that can be really nice if you're building a resume and trying to develop these skills. When you're looking at the course card and when you're seeing all the courses listed, there are some classes that we tend to get questions about the most and that kids are excited about are you'll see peers as partners in learning and leadership skills development. So those are those classes when you see students that are assigned to be in a teacher's classroom or work in the office or things like that. Those are students in the leadership skills or the peers as partners courses. Those classes are on their schedule. So leadership skills is where you are assigned to a staff. You're providing administrative support. So in student services, for example, we have students that are in student services providing support to our the counseling team and the student services department. So when you get those blue passes, a lot of times it's those kids delivering them for us, and they're doing like extra administrative support. Peers as partners are the students who are assigned to a teacher's room, and the goal is to be have an extra, like, have a student in there who's able to provide support to other students when they're doing activities and things like that. So um, just be aware that for both of these opportunities, an application is required. So you can put it on your course card. But it is really important to know that you're also going to be when we're going to have applications for you to apply for these positions because you need to fill that out to be accepted and have one of those courses on your schedule. A lot of kids are also excited junior year to start doing OJT or on the job training. What that is, if you haven't heard of it before, is an opportunity to earn high school elective credit while working a job. So the idea is if you have a job outside of school and it's an official job where you get a paycheck and like not paid in cash, there's pay stubs and things like that. You can have a period on your schedule, a placeholder on your schedule that indicates that you are doing OJT. So if you are working at least 5 hours per week at your job, you can have a period of OJT. So on your schedule itself, it would look like an eSchool off-campus placeholder. So if a student has a period of OJT and on their schedule it says eSchool off-campus, they would leave school for that time. The idea being that you go to your job, and then what you are doing is you have two online classes. You have a OJT online class and then a DCT. It's like a co-requisite that goes along with it. So the OJT placeholder is where you are going to be submitting your hours, proving that you are working at least 5 hours per week. The DCT principles class that goes along with it is a required class co-requisite where you're going to be doing some lessons and assignments related to the world of work. So different activities about employability skills, communication in the workplace, etc. The nice thing is that these classes go together, but you earn a grade and credit for each of these classes. So a student who's doing OJT and DCT is going to be getting a grade for OJT as well as DCT and then a credit for both. So those students with a job, this could be a great opportunity for you to get some credit um, as a result of working that job. When you are looking at your course card, there are a couple options for on or off campus placeholders. So these are placeholders on your schedule indicating that you are either taking a dual enrollment class or an online class. So students who plan to do some dual enrollment classes that are outside of the ones that we offer at Land O'Lakes High School on campus can have a PHSC placeholder, and that would indicate that that student is going to be taking a dual enrollment class either online or at PHSC's campus. So that student would be leaving campus for that placeholder. For example, if a student has a PHSC off campus placeholder for their sixth period, they're leaving each day after fifth period. And they have some sort of class, dual enrollment class, either online or at PHSC. Students who want to have an online class can have an eSchool placeholder on their schedule. So that means that you are taking a class online through FLVS or Pasco eSchool. Um, for the eSchool classes, students can select either on campus, which means that you are in our computer lab, or off campus, which means you have transportation to either arrive late to school each day or leave early from school each day. For the eSchool placeholders, just be aware that students can only have up to 3 eSchool placeholders on your schedule. So you can only have at least up to 3 out of your 6 classes be online classes. With the online classes, it is really important that you have the responsibility to stay on top of your work. It is your responsibility to sign up for and keep up with the pace for your online class so you're not dropped due to inactivity. Counselors are not notified until if a student gets dropped from an online class, counselors are not notified usually until after that student gets dropped. And so it is really important that you have the motivation and responsibility to stay on top of your online work if you are choosing to take an online class as a part of your schedule. You do not earn credit for placeholders on your schedule unless you finish that online course. So you want to make sure that you're keeping up with it so you're staying on track with the credits that you need for graduation. We've been talking a bit about dual enrollment and AP. Both of these opportunities are opportunities for you to earn college credit while in high school, but they are different from each other. So with dual enrollment, you are you are dual enrolled as both a high school student and a college student. So the classes that you are taking for dual enrollment go on both your high school transcript and your college transcript. So it's kind of like how in middle school, if you took a high school class, that grade that you earned in that class followed you to high school and is on your high school transcript. The same with dual enrollment. If you take a dual enrollment class, you are starting your college transcript and you earn the college credit if you pass the class. With AP, advanced placement, it is a high school class. So the grade that you get in that class is only going on your high school transcript, and you earn the college credit if you pass the AP exam at the end of the school year. This is an important distinction because it can be a really serious thing if you're taking a dual enrollment class and you don't do well in that class and all of a sudden you get a D or an F that goes on your college transcript. That can really negatively impact you and your future plans. So again, same thing with those online classes. If you're doing dual enrollment or these college level classes, you have to make sure that you have the motivation to stay on top of your work, as well as the ability to advocate for yourself if you're struggling and you need extra support. Parents, just be aware that for dual enrollment, it is a college course. So your kid is even the dual enrollment classes that your kid is taking at Land O'Lakes High School, those are college courses. So those grades for those classes are not going to show on My Student. You do not have access to see those grades unless your student shares it with you until after those grades are finalized. For those AP courses, it's a high school course. So those grades are going to be posted the same as any of their other high school classes. It's going to show in My Student, so you'll be able to see that. For dual enrollment, students must meet eligibility requirements. So you have to get minimum scores on testing in reading, writing, and math. A lot of times students meet this through the PERT test, which is a college readiness test, which we will be offering in March. Um, so the counselors, when they come in to do course selection, will have information about how you can sign up to take the PERT if you are wanting to meet eligibility requirements. If at this point you have not yet met eligibility requirements, that's okay. You can still select dual enrollment courses on your course card. We're just going to be having you put a backup option on your course card in the event that you do not meet eligibility requirements or do not complete the steps required to be able to participate in dual enrollment. You'll automatically just get put into the backup option that you selected on your course card. Dual enrollment is kind of a complicated process. It is because the kid is essentially because you as a student are essentially a college student at the same time. There are a lot of steps and responsibility that you have to follow through in order to be able to do dual enrollment. So, since the process is kind of complicated, we always host a dual enrollment specific info session where the counselors walk through the step by step process that is required for taking dual enrollment courses. We highly, highly encourage any parent or student or any student as well as their parents of that are interested in taking dual enrollment courses next year to attend this info session so that you can make sure you understand the steps that you are required to meet because you are required for kids that want to do dual enrollment in the fall. You are required to meet those, follow all those steps and complete those steps before we leave for summer break. Just mark your calendar. The dual enrollment info session is going to be on Thursday, March 27th from 5:30 to 6:30 p.m. in the Land O'Lakes Commons. You are not required to sign up, and we will give reminders for this info session date when we go into the class for course selection. So, some reminders for when you're filling out your course card. Students must have 6 classes each semester every year, regardless of the number of high school credits previously earned. So, a lot of times as counselors, we get kids asking if they're ahead on credits, if that means that they are able to be part time status when they're a senior. Unfortunately, in our district, the requirement is that you have to be full time regardless of where you're at with your credits. So you're going to be in the equivalent of 6 classes each year. When students are filling out their course cards, if you select a semester course, you have to pick another semester course to go along with it, so that you're filling you're filling the period for the entire year. Students can't earn duplicate credit, so you can't take a course that you've already taken and already earned credit for. So just be aware of that. If you've taken a course previously, even if you really liked it, that doesn't mean you can take it again because you can't earn duplicate credit for it. Again, we highly, highly encourage you to talk to your current teachers about the course options that are there for you. So there are a lot of options. We have a lot of courses available to you. And your current teachers in those subject areas are going to be the best resource for letting you know what all is entail, what all is involved in that course, and whether or not that course might be a good fit for you. So definitely talk to your teachers. I did want you to see an example of what the course card is going to look like because it's a little bit different this year. So it's going to be a two-sided page or piece of paper. On the front, we're going to have you actually write out your courses here. So in this example here, this student is planning to take that ACE English class for English. They're going to be doing math for data and financial literacy. For science, they're choosing forensic science. And then for social studies, they're going to be going into U.S. history honors. So that's their 4 core classes. For their to fill their remaining 2 periods, the courses that this student is hoping to take is 2D Art 2, and then they want to have an off-campus placeholder for 6th period. They plan to take one of their electives online. Now, all students are still going to be required to put extra electives. So, in the event that your top choice elective is not available, so in this example, if the student's not able to get into 2D Art 2, for example, um, the system will go into their backup options, which would in this case, by in order of preference, would be 3D Art 1, Digital Design 1, and then Team Sports 1 and 2. So you are going to be selecting your 4 core classes and then listing your elective choices in order of preference. This is an example of a student who is interested in doing dual enrollment. So, as a reminder, if you have not yet met eligibility requirements for dual enrollment, you can still select dual enrollment on your course card, um, but you're going to have to put a backup. So, in this course, in this is situation, this student is interested in taking dual enrollment English comp for their English requirement. But if they do not meet eligibility requirements by the end of the school year or do not complete the required steps by the end of the school year before the summer, we will automatically be putting the student into their backup option, which would be AP Lang. All right, that's all I got for you when it comes to course selection. You're going to be getting your course cards, or you should have your course card at this point, so you can look through it and think over what it is that you want to do. Counselors will be coming into the English 2 classrooms mid to late February to go over and have you enter your course requests. So take this time in the meantime to plan out what you want to do. Talk to your adults, talk to your teachers, and definitely let us know if you have any questions. I hope you all have an incredible rest of your school year, and best of luck, class of 2027. Again, I'm going to miss you all. Thank you for being so wonderful.